The Japanese Grand Prix weekend is certainly one for the early risers, and Friday started not just with free practice, but with more discussion around the possible impropriety surrounding the alleged breaches of Formula One's financial cap last season, with Lewis Hamilton saying any inaction by the FIA would lead him to question the integrity of the sport. We're waiting until Monday to see what the FIA says around the alleged breach of the budget cap, with Italian and German papers last week pointing that finger of blame towards Aston Martin and Red Bull as the offenders of the financial regulations. Charles Leclerc and George Russell weighed in yesterday talking about possible punishments for any team that has spent over the $145 million budget cap from 2021. And now the seven-time world champion Hamilton has joined the chorus of people demanding strict punishments for anyone found to have overspent last year. For transparency, we need to continue to have transparency of the sport, the integrity of the sport, said Hamilton. I don't think I know enough about it, but I know there are lots of conversations going on in the background. It would be bad for the sport if action wasn't taken if there was a breach, but I don't know if there is. I'm waiting like you. Hamilton stressed that his concern around the breaches would go as far as questioning the sport's values and, of course, its integrity, with the cap limiting updates to cars last season, something that the British driver stressed was a concern during 2021, as he kept seeing Red Bull adding to their car over the season. The first that we know about it here at GPFans, we'll be letting you know as well. Now, we were going to bring you news about an extended FP2 this Friday at Suzuka, as Pirelli wanted to use the extra time to test next year's tyres in Formula 1, but weather in Japan has resulted in the tyre test session being cancelled. Meanwhile, in FP1, Mick Schumacher had a nasty off at Dunlop Corner, hitting the barriers and forcing a new chassis to be fitted to his vehicle, leaving his Haas out of FP2. In the first session on Friday, it was Fernando Alonso in the Alpine who went farthest, 3/10 ahead of the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. Charles Leclerc was third, with the other Alpine of Esteban Ocon fourth. Max Verstappen was behind a fifth place Kevin Magnussen in the Haas, with Lewis Hamilton, the fastest of the Mercedes, down in 13th. FP2, however, saw the two Mercedes on the intermediates setting the pace, with George Russell topping the timing charts with a 1 minute 41.935, 0.2 of a second ahead of his teammate Hamilton, with Max Verstappen behind the pair of silver arrows in third. Teammate Sergio Perez was fourth. So, will Verstappen clinch a second Drivers' World Championship this weekend? Will the dry conditions on Saturday after wet conditions on Friday play into the hands of the experienced drivers on the grid? GPFans.com and GPFans Global for all of the news across the Japanese Grand Prix this weekend.